Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with the Vaping Nation. I am Justin. He would be
Dustin.
Dustin. So I'm Justin. He's Dustin.
You're
Justin.
Dustin.
You're Justin.
I'm Dustin.
I'm Justin Case.
I'm Dustin. Testing.
Hello.
Testing.
Hello.
Testing.
Hello.
Testing.
Testing. Oh!
Testing.
Line.
Uh-oh.
There. So much for that.
Uh-oh. I got my...
$3,000 vaping machine.
Oh, it didn't break, at least.
It's gone.
It's close.
This one here's about ready to go, too.
Uh-oh.
You need a vape holder. You need make a little hole, like a 3D print a little holder for you over there. So you hold your little vaping machine.
Need some holders for these. Why don't you make me some holders?
That's a good idea. Glad you thought of that.
Why don't you 3D print some holders?
Hell, I could use my 3D printer. All right, we're firing up the old information area here. And,
Information Beltway.
That's right. And we have, there are dogs in here.
Oh my gosh.
What is that all about?
Filthy creatures.
Dogs in the studio. Dog alert. Cutie pie alert.
Filthy creature
Cute
alert.
little dog alert. All right. Well, these are real dogs. You don't have to bend over to pet them. Well, that one kind of do, but the rest of them you don't.
You mean you can't put them in your pocket?
Can't put these are not pocket dogs. These are real dogs. Probably need to go outside. And
Pocket.
this one here, his name is Buddy. We call him Butterball. And he's yeah. So we have a special thing today. Today on the Vaping Nation, we're going to be talking about the whole podcast interview process with Sig stores.
They're the ones putting the show.
Yeah,
on.
they're our sponsor.
They're our
Sig Steam
sponsors
is our sponsor
for the
right
day.
now. Our daily sponsor. They're kind of an ongoing sponsor for us. Sig Steam E-Juice.
Good people.
Good people there. Real good people.
It's mix your own.
Mix your own. They have a kit. You can mix your own stuff.
Yeah.
But so we have a special podcast for you today, and it's basically almost entirely devoted to the whole thing of having your store. If you have a store, whether it's a brick and mortar store, an online store, or if you just have a product that you purchase or that you manufacture. I'm going to start this whole thing over. I'm going to start all over again.
What?
Start all over from the very beginning.
Why?
Can't see anything in here.
Well, this stuff will kill you.
It'll kill you.
That's stuff
Deadly.
right here. This stuff right here.
It's deadly.
That'll kill you.
That's deadly stuff. Well, welcome to the Vaping Nation. Today's installment of the Vaping Nation podcast. We are going to be discussing, primarily we're going to be discussing the process of having your store or your business basically interviewed and giving you a chance to share your story. We want to talk to people who own E-Cig shops, or if you have an E-Cig device that you build, or that you have some kind of juice that you produce. We're going to have
We want to talk to you.
We want to talk to you. We want to help you share your story, get the word out there, and it's free of charge. We're going to help you do that. We'd like to interview you, ask you some questions, and just help you kind of promote your store. And that way we can kind of get some information out to the people and help you at the same time kind of share where you've come from and give you a chance to kind of tell the story behind what you're doing. So
we want to meet some of these amazing people out there that are
amazing,
that are producing e-juice,
They're
quality
amazing.
e-juice
Yeah.
and devices.
That's right, as the congressman people would like to kill you. So we'd like to, before you go to jail, we'd like to get a chance to interview you outside of prison. So that's our plan. We'd like to make this about the whole show. So stay tuned today. We're going to work on that as going to be our main topic.
Something I'd like to spit out there.
Well, go ahead and spit it out. Just spit it.
The Mount Baker vapor is moving. Did you hear that?
Yeah, that's kind of interesting side note there. I heard about that. I think Grim Green tagged that actually I saw that on Twitter, that he had, he's the first one that I saw bring it up, but Mount Baker is actually moving because of the state laws, I guess now have made it impossible, which is going to happen here in Indiana too. It's going to have to be the same thing.
Yeah.
Were they in Oregon? Is that where they're? Seattle?
They're from Washington State.
Seattle, Washington.
They're moving to sunny Arizona.
Oh, sunny Arizona, yes. not the cloudy Arizona. They're
well, I don't know. That's what Grim put on this thing.
Okay.
So.
Well, that's interesting. That's going to be, like I said, that's going to be the battle of the states. I think with the way they, when the states start to vie for position, and the ones who don't have the legislation are going to be the ones that end up on top in terms of the e-cig world. And it's just it's so sad what's happening with the way they're vilifying vaping and e-cig use.
I expected all the left-wing nut job states to be the first ones to pass all these regulations.
Yeah.
And then here was Indiana,
our
our
places.
state.
Yeah.
Yeah, that just passed an atrocious
But see, that's
communist.
Well, and that's the thing about the Republicans and the Democrats. Is that they both have their own line of power that they want to rule over the people with. The Republicans see themselves as being this moral police that they have to do all this, and the Democrats, the Democrats are just the opposite. They think if it's immoral, you should be allowed to do it. So they want to tax and spend and take everything from everybody and let the government handle everything and be in charge of everything. Whereas it's
funny, but each one of them want bigger government.
Bigger government.
They're both bigger government.
Both moving down the same road, just wanting different. They're just on different lanes. Yeah. So it's just a.
And the bigger the government gets, the worse our lives get.
Yes.
But yet, people still want to vote.
But they still think, well, we just need more government.
Yeah.
We just haven't got enough government yet.
Yeah.
It keeps getting worse. We have more government than when I was a kid, and it's worse now than it was when I was a kid.
That's because there's still a little too much freedom. We need to get rid of that. Get rid of that.
It's those pesky little freedom people.
Get out of there.
Want more freedom.
Get out of there.
Which is why I'm libertarian. There you go. Not an anarchist. I'm just an libertarian.
This is America.
It's America.
It's supposed to be America.
Right. Well, it was.
If you don't like it, get out.
America.
Get out of the country if you don't want freedom.
That's right. If you don't like the country, why do you stay here? Go someplace else. It's people walking down the streets complaining about the government and they hate this country and all the stuff that's going around with. Try to take that same sign and walk down the street in China and see how that works out for you. I mean, just go someplace else where they have communism, they have all those other things. They don't have the kind of freedoms we do, and see how that works for you. Or go to Iran and do that. It's just amazing to me that people
group rights don't work.
The group rights, special rights for groups don't work. It's individual. It's all about the individual and protecting their rights, and we should all stand for the individual's rights. Because if like Kennedy said, if one individual suffers, John F. Kennedy, well, he's a Democrat, but he said if one individual suffers, then we all suffer because of that. That's a paraphrase of mine, but basically he said if one person's rights are in jeopardy, all of our rights are in jeopardy, and it was right. He was right about that. So on to more things about, but it does boil down to the whole e-cig world and what's happening with our rights in terms of what we do. Nobody's dying. Nobody's being killed or murdered from e-cig operations or juices, and
it's a freedom of choice.
It's a choice between cigarettes, but they don't have a problem with cigarettes.
Yeah,
because they're getting all the tax money, and that's really what they're mad about. Is they're seeing their tax money is going away, and big pharma is behind as well. So
I'm sure when Julius Dreyfus or whatever was out there vaping, I'm sure there were people smoking cigarettes out there.
Yeah, but they didn't have a problem with that.
They didn't raise a big fuss about people smoking cigarettes. That's not hard on the children or a bad influence.
Yeah, she could have been smoking cigarettes.
Vaping with their candy flavors.
Yeah. Because Julia Louise Dreyfus is a big. She's on Sesame Street. She's a big child influence person. She has a lot of kids shows, does a lot of kids television, TV programming for PG-13. Not. So that's just one of those things where they just.
Something else that Grimm has on here. I just saw is General Mills and Girl Scouts go after makers of liquid nicotine over trademark names. So the candy names,
like candy names, are using
the different names.
So they're going after him for that.
Yeah, now they're going after him for that.
Oh wow. Yeah, I knew that might be a problem, but I saw some of the Reese's Peanut Butter Cup, and I've seen some other stuff like that where people are using the name. Mm-hmm. That is a trademark name. It's a sticky wicket.
Yeah.
But it's amazing that the Girl Scouts go after that kind of thing for that. But yeah,
whatever they can do.
Yeah. Well, I want to talk a little bit about the process.
The interview process?
The interview process.
So if I want to be interviewed on your show, Justin, is it?
Justin. I'd be Justin.
I want to be interviewed by Justin here, the four-eyed freak, with a googly eyeball.
Googly eye. Googly eye.
What do I have to do to get you to pay attention to me and to just listen to me? I just want you to listen. Just listen to me. I just want you to listen to me and just ask me some questions so I can get out there and get things done. How do I do that, sir?
I just found this thing on the internet here. Were you talking to me? Was that you talking to me?
What?
Did you say what? Did you say something to
me?
What?
Huh?
Huh?
Where are we?
Who are you?
I'm Dustin.
I don't think so. I want to see some.
You're Justin.
I want to see some identification. Pull out some identification.
Whoa.
I want to see that right here.
Whoa.
I got to see that. Huh? Look at this. Got messages, but they're not. They're not.
So
messages.
you're not going to answer me? I mean, how do I do this?
Oh, were you talking to me?
Yeah. How do I do this?
Huh? Well, okay. So the process. Let's say you're.
Was that not clear enough?
No, not from you.
Clear enough for you?
So did you want me to ask? Were you asking the question of how I can pay attention to you, or how I would pay attention to a normal individual out there in the world?
Well, yeah,
Somebody
not
who's
me.
normal. Okay, so you're
no,
like,
not me.
so
I was
you're
trying
just-
to represent.
You're representing someone
Yeah.
who's normal.
And not on, they didn't ask me to represent them.
Okay.
I'm just doing it, out of spite, I guess. I just thought I'd just try to represent them the best I could
Okay.
and ask for help,
Okay. Okay.
Help
that,
me.
Yeah. Okay. That's because that's one of the things that there's a big difference there.
Well, help me help you.
It's okay. Yeah,
help me help
I can't.
you.
I'm not going to help you, but you can just help me.
Help you help me.
What?
Help
me. Help me.
You help me.
round the hip. Okay. I'm not going to break into a song.
Your fair-haired boy needs a bath, Jerry.
Yeah.
He's gotten real dirty.
That's he's smoking the Zoom again. Yeah. So vaping a Zoom. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So so here we are. We're at if you have a store, if you have a business, online business, I'm just gonna say store for the sake of if you have some kind of a business that you want to have an interview process done for, we would love to do that for you. And if you are a long ways away from us, long ways being more than a half an hour to an hour's drive. Now, we're in Elkhart, Indiana, so if you're more than an hour away from here, we would probably try to fix it up. If you want to have an actual, we'd love to do an in-person interview. The best way to do that is someplace where we already got another interview going on. It's hard for us to drive more than an hour to do just one video, to do one interview. So if we can kind of schedule it so we can get a couple different businesses in that day to get some footage and get some stuff done, that would be helpful. If we go to Chicago, it would be nice to they'll do 2 or 3 stores that day for making the trip up there. And again, we do that for free. We'll take some help with gas money and that kind of thing. It'd be great. Or if you would like to sponsor us in return for doing that, we can work those kinds of things out. But we do offer this based on approval. We would have to approve it first, but basically we're kind of holding out to say that we would like to interview anybody that wants to be interviewed. So.
You want government approval now?
Well, we have to have forms filled out for the government. It has to go through several different agencies at the government.
I suppose you want the state police.
I think they should be involved.
To be there.
Well, they should just be involved. They should at least be there. Yeah.
Guns drawn. Checking ID, I suppose. Taking
ID,
blood work.
Taking everything from you. Yeah, taking whatever. Yeah.
Testing their children.
Testing children, urine samples, all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
All right.
But we have a list of questions here, and basically. I'm going to run through the questions real quick just to kind of talk through that process. But this is kind of how the interview would go. We would be asking you your name, what the name of your store is, what kind of product you sell or service you offer, and the location of your store or your business, if it's online, if you have a brick and mortar store, if it's whatever it is, how long you've been in business, how many employees you have, what kind of products you may carry, either on your store or on your website, whether you import all your products or if you make some of your own. We might ask you some personal questions about what kind of juice is your favorite juice, or what kind of vape are you, what kind of mod are you using at the current time, what kind of, just how you go about vaping, your personal stuff. How your immediate family may feel about you having the vaping store. If you've got any people got that crazy uncle out there that thinks you're nuts, that kind of thing. What kind of response the community has had about your business or about your shop, and what if there's a local community that's picketing your area, or if they're not picketing your area, or if they seem to be receiving it really well. The number one question that customers have that when they walk in the door, we kind of want to know that kind of thing. What's the one thing when they walk in, like especially new customers, new vapors, what is the one thing that they come in and seem to ask?
What are they asking?
What are they asking? What are the beginners asking about? What are some of your questions? What are some of the customers' concerns? What are they asking about with regard to legislation? If any of them are on top of that kind of thing and realize what's happening, are they aware? Do they even seem to be aware of what's going on with legislation? How do you feel about the laws the state in your state is passing? If you're in Indiana, of course, there's a big discussion there, and we know those pretty well. But there are some other states that are trying to do the same thing Indiana is doing. So if you're in one of those, and now getting back to the whole travel thing, if you are in another state, we are more than happy to do an interview with over Skype or FaceTime. We can do that. We're happy to do that. We can record all of that and put the video up as well as the audio. So that's fine if you want to handle it over the phone kind of thing like that, over the video phone. And we can also do interviews that way. So if you are out of state in another state, if you can, before the interview, send us some ideas of what your state laws are now and what some things that are happening in your state with legislation. That way we don't have to do as much research about the state as, if you've already done that research, just pass that along to us. As well as any pictures of your store. Especially if we're doing a Skype interview, it's really nice to have stock footage that we can put up while we're doing the video and doing the interview. And we can put up pictures of your employees, pictures of your store, your products, the inside and outside of your store, as well as maybe a location map, that kind of thing. So anything that you can pass along to us to put up that you want to promote, that you want the people to be informed about. And that's really helpful. So if you are in another state, even if you're in Arizona or California and you want to have us do an interview, we can do that via Skype. So we're happy to do that for you. If you are a reviewer, even we could actually do a interview with you about your occupation, about what you do, how you go about your day, and just what it takes to get an interview or a review from a reviewer. Somebody like Grim Green, we could interview him and just ask him questions about what his process is, about
how he got started, what his life is like.
Yeah, I'm sure he's kind of told his story over episodes and episodes of doing things, but it'd be kind of nice to just sit down and interview him and ask him questions about his story, his background, how he got started vaping. Then there's more questions. There's things like where you get your E-Cig news. Where do you go to get your E-Cig news? Do you get it just online? Do you go to the forums? Do you have a certain place that you get that vaping news and information? Where do you see the e-cig industry heading? In other words, that'd be nice to get your opinion, like in the next 5 years, what do you see happening? What do you forecast? Kind of a foretelling of what's going to happen with the e-cig industry in the next 5 years in this country. And what are your plans for your store in the future, as well as how people can find you and contact you and that kind of thing, whether you have a website, phone number, that kind of thing, where you're located, all those things, so we can put people in touch with your store and your product or on your website. So that's pretty much the interview. It takes 20, 30 minutes, and depending on how much time you have to share, and maybe there's other things that are unique to your business that you'd like for us to talk to or have a discussion about. And it's not as much, it's about 50% interview and 50% discussion. So think of it as an interview about you and your store, but it also as well as just to have an opportunity to just discuss some things that are current events, things that are happening, things that are kind of on your mind right now in terms of what's boiling up in with the news. So
we want to show your business off, show your store off, or your device or whatever, and maybe even get some input from your employees
if they're available. That'd be nice. Yeah, it's nice to have that kind of them chime in on the discussion and say, because they may have a different perspective as well. They may have talked to some customers that maybe the owner hasn't had a chance to talk to. So whether you're the owner or the manager or that kind of thing, maybe you have multiple stores and you'd like to get multiple interviews with different stores in different locations, because it has a whole different flavor from one town to the next in terms of what the atmosphere is like in some places. So that's fine too. So yeah, I'd like to just encourage everybody to do that. That's kind of the first part of our segment, and that's the main bulk of what we wanted to put this just a short podcast out about. Was we wanted to make sure that information was out there, because I think we would really help people out in terms of kind of getting the word out and trying to get some notoriety to businesses that may be looking for some a broader reach and just another place to put. And you're welcome to use the interview as a advertisement. You could put that on your website. You could use it.
Sure.
Use the links to that particular podcast. You could use that as a link to embed in your website or something like that. It'd be fun to do too. So that'd be, I think, helpful for everybody. It gives us content for our show, which we're always looking for, and it helps our viewers and our listeners to know what's going on, kind of keeps them abreast of what's going on, and gives us something credible to give them, as well as to just help everybody out. So that's what we're doing.
Yeah, that's it right there.
And I said it. Now we could use along that same line. We could use sponsors. We don't make $1 million a year at this, and we're not in this for the money. But we are. He is. He's in it for the money.
I hate money.
I'm doing this because I love it. But no, I think it would be really helpful if we could pick up some good sponsors, and we can always, and then with that sponsorship, we can actually add to what we're doing and create better content and continue to build up more and more audience. So that's the big part of it, is trying to build our audience up. So
yeah, we'd like to go to some of the big vape shows and vape meets they got around.
Interview everybody at the vape shows.
Fort Wayne's got one coming up in August.
Fall. Yeah.
So we might go shoot over there to that one there.
Yep, we'll be doing a live podcast from there. We might actually do a live streaming event from there if we can figure out how to do that.
Yeah, we might do that. We might do that.
We might not.
I don't know.
But we might.
Yeah.
But we might not.
Yeah, we're not doing it.
It's a 50-50 chance.
Yeah, we're done. Shut it off. We're finished.
We're done. Closing it.
It's
Closing
over.
it up.
It's over.
Shutting it down. Time to be done.
Okay, we're back.
Hey, we're back.
We're back.
Hey, we got a sponsor.
Things have changed.
No, things have changed. We changed our mind.
Things are looking up. One thing
I just found a quarter in my cushion over here.
One thing I found out just a little while ago, right before the show.
Wow, this is like hot breaking
and
news.
I was infuriated. It's really old news that I just found out.
Oh, you just found out about.
So it's new to me.
Oh.
But I was infuriated.
So in your head, it's going.
Yeah. All the time. It's doing that all the time.
Doing it all the time. Yeah.
Always doing that.
That explains a lot.
And I don't even remember what it was now.
That's something. Wow, there it goes. It's gone. Oh well.
No, it was had to do with the Indiana State regulations they passed for e-juice and e-cigs to help protect us, the citizens of Indiana.
Oh, good. I feel so warm and fuzzy when they protect me.
Oh, they protect us.
They're just like surrounding me with warm, fuzzy
I
protection
guess
balls.
when you fill out your, what would you call it, application for a permit, I guess?
Yeah.
To be able to sell your product, whether it be e-juice, devices, whatever. You fill out this application, you send it on in there to the committee, I guess they're calling it. They have a committee
commission,
now.
Or the commission or committee?
They said committee, I thought. Or was it commission?
I thought it was commission. Some kind of commission.
It's commission,
Tomato.
Which can do surprise. This committee or commission can do surprise.
Oh, inspection.
Inspections on your property and premises. Anyway,
So that's why we remain naked all the time. That way we can make them. That way they feel embarrassed when they walk in and surprise us. No, not gonna do that. Huh?
Is that why you have dogs here?
That's why the dogs are here. Keep the commission order.
I understand now.
That way they don't like commissioners. I've trained them to go.
What was I? Oh yeah. As you send this application in there to these people, these overseers, these dictators,
our benevolent dictators.
Yeah, these communist pigs.
Yes.
And
that's another way of putting it. Yeah.
They approve or not approve you.
Yes.
Well, one thing they do with this application is they go ahead and send it on over to the state police.
Good idea.
Yeah, they go ahead and send it on over there. And then they run your name and anybody else's name that's on that permit through their little database.
Good.
And the federal government's database.
Good.
And because they don't want to go ahead and confirm you if you have a felony.
Well, of course not.
Yeah. So I don't know what a felony that you've already paid for has to do with you selling a product to the people. You can open up a restaurant if you have a felony, but apparently you cannot sell e-juice or have a e-juice or e-cig shop if you have a felony.
I'm curious. Do you know if you can get an alcohol license if you had a felony? You can.
Probably. I don't know.
Probably.
I don't know if you can or not.
I bet you can.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me. It's we should check into that though. Why don't you get on that?
I'm gonna work on that.
Get on that.
I'm gonna work right on that.
Yeah, that's. I just couldn't believe that. Just all the crap they have in this new law is unbelievable. I mean, the person, even if you buy e-juice from someone and that person doesn't have a permit, the person buying it can get in trouble and get charged with I forget what it was, Class B something. See if I can find it.
That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. one thing has nothing to do with the other. In my opinion, it depends
Yeah.
on. I mean, if they've had a felony of poisoning someone or putting, doing something like putting, if the crime was related, I guess I could understand some of that.
Even then, you've already paid. You've already
already
went
paid
to
for it.
jail.
You've already went to jail, paid
went
for
to
it.
court,
Yeah.
paid your dues.
Unless they're on probation after that,
Yeah.
and that's still part of serving your sentence. Once the sentence is over, I've never understood that whole thing about the felony following you around for the rest of your life. I can't.
It's a continual punishment for something you've already
Yeah,
already done, and it's the whole thing of trying to stop a crime before it even happens. It goes into that all that crap. It's
Yep.
You
It's
can't
the
do
pre-crime.
that.
The
You have
pre-crime
to have
thing.
probable cause. You have to have a reason
Yeah.
to do that, to do something. Yeah, I was trying to find it here in this bill. This bill is so long.
Yes, I have the. Is that the House bill, Indiana House bill?
Yeah.
Is that the one that you printed out here?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have that right here. This is the legislation right here that.
Yeah, we'll go over it sometime.
We're gonna have a show just on this, basically.
Probably maybe 2 shows. It's so long.
Yeah, it's got 17 pages, 16 pages.
Yeah.
16 pages. 15 pages, I guess. Not all of it's actual law. Some of it's just reference material, but it's there's at least 10 pages there of just law stuff, and it's ridiculous. When we go through some of the points that we're going to point out about that, people just won't be. They'll be amazed. I mean, it's just amazing how much garbage there is in that whole thing. It's just unbelievable. But yeah,
It's crazy.
it's crazy. Well, it's just crazy. So this is called the awkward silence moment, and we have
I feel awkward. Why do I feel
awkward
so awkward?
because it's silent.
I feel like I did when I was going through puberty.
There's an awkward silenceness.
When I was in kindergarten going through puberty.
Yeah.
This is how I felt.
Okay, I don't think our viewers really want to know about that.
Wait, we're still on the air?
Yeah, there's all three of the people who listen to this program. We probably just lost 20% of them.
One of them was...
Yeah, which I don't know how that works out with 3 people, but that's interesting that one of them's only partially listening now, basically. So one of them plugged their ears. Let's put it that way. 3 people,
One of them
6 ears.
Well, probably one of them was
plugged their
probably
ears.
deaf.
Yeah. One of them's probably some old person who accidentally clicked on the subscribe button and probably forgot. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
I bet the other one's Carlin Yoder.
yeah, Carlin loves us. He's listening into everything we're doing. Yes. So there you go. That's kind of our show for the day. Pretty much.
Yeah, that's it. We're done.
Pretty much our show.
It was fun.
Keep on vaping on, and don't forget to get in touch with us at the very least if you have any questions about the interview process. If you're interested in that at all, go ahead and feel free to give us send us an email, shoot us a text,
Follow us on Twitter.
Call us on Twitter.
What's our Twitter thing?
At The Vaping Nation,
The Vaping
all
Nation.
one word, just very simple, The Vaping Nation.
Our email
And,
is thevapingnation@gmail.com.
gmail.com. That's the easiest one to get us at. There's also one staff at thevapingnation.com, but the one that we get the most often and are able to respond to the most is better to go to thevapingnation@gmail.com. And that's about it.
Well, and I'm going to be starting a blog.
Yes, the blog will be interesting.
It's going to
Yes.
be
Dustin's
a
blog.
glimpse into the
mind.
charred remains of Dustin's head and soul.
Ooh, wow,
It's
that
gonna
sounds creepy.
Well,
Yeah.
it's going to be a real gut-clenching, curdling,
boiling up, kind of gurgling
stew, kind
thing.
of a
Yeah.
pus-filled
Yeah.
substance of,
Something.
It's going to be
Something. It'll be
it's
something.
gonna be something.
Yeah, it'll be something.
It's going to be. So if you want to take a look at that, you can.
That just sounds inviting to me. I just
Yeah.
want to jump right into
Yeah.
that. It sounds like a big, thing I want to jump
It'll
into.
probably turn into a movie.
Oh, I'm sure it'll be
something
books
like
and
that,
movies and all kinds of things. Yeah. Okay.
But
So yeah, that sounds interesting. Yeah, the blog. Stay tuned for the blog. That'll be. Don't forget to sign up for our newsletter because that keeps you in touch with anytime we make a change on the website or do something new or have any kind of new what do they call that offering out there that something's going on or information that's updated. We send out a newsletter. And you'll be on that newsletter list, subscription list.
Sure.
We'll send it out to you.
And I guess a little, just a little tip.
Here's the tip of the day.
Of the day.
Let's make it the hour at least, or maybe
of
this show.
Of the show.
Yeah.
If anybody out there uses these Genesis style devices at the tanks, and you got the wick, and you build your coil at the top there, I was using stainless steel mesh for a long time for my wick, and it didn't wick all that great for me. So when I switched over to this here stainless steel rope, it works a lot better than stainless steel mesh. So you should, if you haven't tried it, you should just try that.
Stainless rope.
It works a lot better. Don't get galvanized, of course.
Don't be a dope. Get the stainless rope.
Steel rope.
Get it? Don't be a dope. Get the stainless rope.
My battery's about dead. That means the show's over.
Show's over. Battery's dead. So I guess that's it for today. We're done.
Keep on vaping on.
Okay.
I signed up. Kind of started.
Please one of them.